Tonight, plans to vaccinate. Joe Biden shares how he plans to get shots in the arms of 100 million Americans in 100 days. And rollout delayed, why it could be well into August before Michiganders can get their COVID vaccine. Plus, how an area business association aims to take financial troubles to St. Paul and fight for relief.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us tonight. This week, bars and restaurants in Minnesota were able to open back up, but with restrictions in place. But as CBS3's Natalie Grant explains, a video from one Duluth bar is circulating online and has community members and other businesses concerned.
This video shared on the Spurs on First Instagram account Thursday shows a crowded scene with little to no distancing and no masks. The text on the video reads, "Feels great to be back. Missed all these crazy faces." It's a post that's receiving a lot of backlash on social media. One tweet calling on the bar to do better in regards to community health and that, quote, filling their bar during a pandemic is not smart. Another tweet sharing the video saying that they are definitely not following guidelines. And the frustration with Spurs doesn't end there. We were contacted today by the owner of another Duluth bar who says that scenes like the one shared on Instagram are nothing new during the pandemic inside Spurs. The concerned business owner shared with us that she says our photos from inside the bar back in the fall. Again, little distancing and no mask. That bar owner saying in a statement, unfortunately, this pattern of hosting large groups of unmasked young people is not new. Today, we spoke on the phone with the owner of Spurs, who claims the Instagram video is old and that they are following state rules. But whether or not that is true, the Minnesota Department of Health says they're seeing and hearing about other scenes like this one at bars across the state.
The health department is taking it seriously, and the whole state is taking it seriously because this is a public health emergency.
Saying that those who violate the law are not just risking their own business, but could play a part in shutting the state back down.
If our ICU and our hospitals fill up again, we may have to close restaurants again. We may have to close schools again. We may have to close youth sports again. We don't want to do that.
We did go over to Spurs around 8:30 tonight. They did appear to be cooperating with state guidelines, handing out masks, roping off parts of the bar, and requiring distancing. All right, let's check in on the weather with Dave. Dave, it feels like that rain's never going to stop out there tonight, at least down here by the lake.
Yeah, and for the snow inland, it's wrapping up in Minnesota, but could linger a little bit longer, like we've been saying, for Wisconsin and perhaps the Upper Peninsula. It's folks on the south shore of Wisconsin's border with Lake Superior that are still facing a winter weather advisory till 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and a little more snow is possible in that part of the country. Taking a look at the situation now, yeah, there we go. Still a little bit of lake effect coming across and hitting the famous snow belt here of our region, but there are still a few flurries popping up here and there in northern Minnesota, as you can see, and fairly close to the head of the lakes as well. Snow fans, maybe we're not quite done with it yet, but we sure didn't get as much as a lot of them wanted here today. And coming up tonight and Saturday, probably not that much more in the way of snow for Minnesotans. Mostly cloudy sky Friday night and Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon on that side of the border. Again, in Wisconsin, you may get a little more lake effect through the morning. High temp of 26 is a bit cooler than it was today. Come Sunday, it'll get even cooler. And by next week, we may get back into the single digits, at least for our low temps. We'll talk about that cool down in our next chance of light snow on Wednesday in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. President-elect Joe Biden is unveiling his plans to speed up the vaccination of Americans against the coronavirus. The pandemic has killed nearly 400,000 people in the U.S., and now the CDC is warning that the new, more contagious variant could lead to a sharp increase in cases. CBS News correspondent Daniel Backus reports from Los Angeles.
President-elect Joe Biden laid out his plans Friday to vaccinate 100 million Americans in his first 100 days in office.
We will immediately work with states to open up vaccinations to more priority groups. His implementation has been too rigid and confusing.
The president-elect faces a number of challenges in ramping up vaccine supply and distribution. His plan includes working with FEMA, state and local governments to open at least 100 new vaccination locations and mobile vaccine centers.
There are tens of millions of doses of vaccine sitting unused in freezers around the country.
Across the country, there is frustration among those who are waiting.
People will die because of this failure.
Citing its own shortage, New York's Mount Sinai Hospital stopped taking new appointments from the public and canceled all schedule through Tuesday. The nation is struggling with a relentless surge in cases and the threat of a new, more contagious variant. In Los Angeles County, hospitals are struggling to treat every COVID-19 patient. With the virus surging, officials are hoping this site here at Dodger Stadium will be able to handle up to 12,000 people per day, but vaccine supply remains an issue.
But you have my word that we will manage the hell out of this operation.
President-elect Biden says he will invoke the Wartime Defense Production Act to boost production of vaccines, syringes, and protective equipment. And he's vowing to bring help to the hardest hit areas, including African-American, Latino, and rural communities. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In the U.S., 13 million Americans have had a COVID shot, but only 1.6 million are fully vaccinated with both doses. Wisconsin's mask mandate will last at least another 2 months. The state's mask requirement and public health emergency were set to expire next week. Today, Governor Tony Evers announced he's extending both by 60 days. Evers says the mask mandate will help prevent the spread as the state continues vaccinating more groups.
So folks, don't give up now. Wear your masks, stay home whenever you can, support businesses, and catch up with families virtually. And let's get together. Let's get through this pandemic together.
Evers also announced the state will start vaccinating essential workers next week. Meanwhile, Michigan is delaying its COVID-19 vaccine timeline, pushing availability for the general population further into 2021. Tricia McCauley tells us why there's a delay and when the state says vaccine might be available to the general public.
We hope to be able to have vaccine available to the general public by late spring.
Just 1 month ago, the state's top doctor told Michiganders she hoped to get the vaccine out by spring. That's now been delayed at least 5 months.
There is currently not enough supply to allow every eligible Michigander to obtain a vaccine appointment. We're as disappointed as you.
According to the state health department, just over 400,000 Michiganders have received the COVID-19 vaccine, about 4% of the population. State health leaders say they were supposed to get 300,000 vaccine doses every week, but are only getting 60,000.
Our original plan was to vaccinate nearly 50,000 people per day, and that is impossible with the number of vaccines we are receiving each week.
Infectious disease specialist Dr. David Davenport says the vaccine is a sign of hope, but he wants to remind people to stay vigilant.
If we use masks and social distancing and vaccines, so we have a real chance of shortening the duration of this pandemic and getting things much more back under control.
Davenport says even after people get the COVID-19 vaccine, they still need to wear a mask because although those vaccinated might not get sick, they can still potentially spread the virus.
Whether there is low-level viral replication and possible transmission after receiving a vaccine is currently not known. So that's a reason to use masks and social distancing.
Davenport says we also don't know how long the vaccine provides immunity. Right now, the experts say at least 6 months, but he also says there's a good chance we could be getting a yearly COVID-19 vaccine just like the flu shots. More financial support. That's what area business leaders are saying they need from the Minnesota legislature as they continue to struggle during the pandemic. With the help of an annual event, the Duluth Chamber of Commerce is pushing local lawmakers to get more assistance for small business owners. CBS3's Emma Quinn spoke with local lawmakers and chamber officials about their needs.
COVID-19 will be front and center at the Minnesota legislative session as local business owners say they need more support.
So what we're seeing is that small businesses are disproportionately affected by the pandemic, losing upwards of or more than 50% of their revenue.
Duluth Chamber of Commerce officials are pushing for local lawmakers to bring more support to the region struggling. District 7 State Senator Jen McEwen says she hears them loud and clear.
Our small businesses are in crisis right now because of COVID. I mean, and which is why it's just so critical and so important to have the small business relief coming from the state.
The Chamber of Commerce is hoping the 24th annual Duluth and St. Louis County Days at the Capitol event will bring more attention to the issue.
All of our local industries have benefited from being a part of this event and having their voices being heard and connecting one-on-one with these legislators.
Chamber officials say roughly 500 residents from the area participate in the event, and over the years, it's had a positive impact for the community.
In hearing the stories, the actual personal stories of the people who are in our districts, the things that they're going through, the difficulties that they're having, and then to be able to take those examples and those stories and bring them to our colleagues, bring them into committee.
Due to COVID-19, the 24th annual event will be held in a virtual setting.
The Duluth and St. Louis County Days at the Capitol event is the largest citizen advocacy event held at the Capitol. For more information on event registration, you can find a link on our website. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, in recent years, the amount of people moving to northern Minnesota has dwindled. Now, a new project hopes to change that.
Record low temp for this date is 39 below from 1972. I remember that cold snap. It was too cold to go out and play in Ely. That chill really cut through those old-fashioned polyester snowmobile suits we all wore back in that era. Well, next week it'll cool down. Not that cold, but could get into the single digits for a couple of mornings. We'll talk about when coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS 3.
When facing a major healthcare decision, it's wise to seek a second opinion from a team of established experts. Financial decisions deserve the same level of care and expertise. At MPPL Financial, we develop your plan by assembling a personalized team that includes experts in multiple disciplines. So the result is a coordinated care plan that covers all areas of your financial life. Your outcome depends on the quality of care you receive. Call today to set up your free second opinion consultation or visit MPPLfinancial.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Little, owner of Your Home Improvement Company. 2020 was an unbelievable year for all of us. As a family-owned and operated business, we have been doing our best to stay focused on you this past year with our zero interest and zero payments until 2022 program. Thank you for allowing us to assist you in updating your most lived-in asset during this difficult time, your home. From all of us at Your Home Improvement Company, Bath Planet, and my family to yours, have a healthy, happy, and safe new year.
Hi, John with Prime Appliance, and this is one of the best times of the year to buy appliances because manufacturers are sending us their new models weekly, and we need the room, so we're closing out last year's models at rock-bottom prices. Get this black stainless Frigidaire Gallery 4-piece kitchen suite with a French door refrigerator, an electric convection range, a high-performance dishwasher, and a microwave oven, now only $47.92. Financing always available. Have our pros deliver and install or take it home today. Prime Appliance, it's the best place to buy your appliances.
At Play It Again Sports, we have the largest selection of new and used hockey equipment in the area, along with a huge selection of hockey sticks, apparel, and cross-country skis.
Trade in, trade up, and save!
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. With over 40 filtration systems, including the world's best softener, no one filters more than Culligan Water. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain. It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
You can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
All of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains. Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
In general, today's snow totals were fairly weak by the lake and a little bit better further inland, although there is one exception. The Bayfield Peninsula seems to have received our biggest totals here. So Muckwa, 6.4 inches, Mason, 6, Red Cliff, 5. Into Minnesota, though, Grand Rapids, at least a few miles south of town, hit 4 inches. Nearby Coleraine, pretty close at 3.7. Guile, usually the snow champion, in the middle of the pack today at 3 inches. Washburn, only 2. And Duluth, at least at the airport, 1.2 inches. So disappointing for some snow fans today, yes. A little bit better news for others. Towards Wisconsin, where there's still some snow coming down, well, snow totals in that part of the country could go a little bit thicker. We're looking at a live picture of Ashland right now. We can see the snow falling and the roads are a little bit white, so do travel cautiously around the region here tonight, whether the roads are just wet like in Minnesota or a little bit snowy over towards the snow belt. Happening right now at the airport in Duluth, the current temp of 33. North winds going 9 miles per hour, air pressure holding steady on the lower side at 29.79 inches of mercury, but weaker high pressure should take us over by Sunday. Sunday may be our next chance to take a peek at the sun, otherwise cloudy until then. Current temps, low 30s in the upper peninsula, low 30s as well happening in northwestern Wisconsin. And Minnesota numbers are going from the upper 20s near the Canadian border to the low to middle 30s here for places like Cloquet and for Moose Lake. Warmer than normal. But the warmer than normal trend will start to fade away tomorrow as this low pulls out and cooler air comes in with that advancing high pressure system. So to the Doppler map we go. As this low from yesterday and today leaves, lake effect could kick off in the snow belt of the South Shore through about noon on Saturday, but then higher pressure advancing comes in for our Sunday. I'm not going to promise a completely clear sky, but it should be strong enough to make it at least dry around here. A few peaks of the sun and on the dry side. And as early as Monday, the clouds come back up as our next low pressure system gets set off to the west to make an approach towards our region. So it'll cloud things up on Monday, probably Tuesday, and by Wednesday might yield a 30% chance for light snow. Latest charts indicate light snow means a trace to 2 inches. Okay, tonight, Minnesota. Temperatures, they do chill down a little bit inland, down to 15 around International Falls, for example, but stay as warm as 28 by Lake Superior. Mostly cloudy sky for folks in Minnesota. It'll be pretty cloudy for Wisconsin and the UP too, but folks there do still have that 60% chance for the lake effect snow. Low temps, mid-20s. High temps, Wisconsin, Michigan tomorrow. Upper 20s to about 30, 40% chance for the snow to stick around through the morning hours. For Minnesotans, it should be cloudy, but the snow chance, if it keeps going there, is going to be very slight. High temps go as cool as 22 towards border country to as warm as 30 on Park Point. Now, eyeing up that 7-day forecast, Sunday might be a pleasant day with some sun. High temp at 25, cooler than it has been lately, but still a hair warmer than normal. Then Martin Luther King Jr. days on Monday should be cloudy, but not bitterly cold. High temp 23. It does get brisk Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, though, Tony, with low temps in the single digits and high temps running 15 to 25. There's that next snow.
Thanks, Dave. Over the years, the number of people moving to northeastern Minnesota has dropped. For employers on the Iron Range, it can be tough finding the right people to hire. CBS3's Kendall Jarbo tells us about a new project hoping to change that.
A population shortage in northeastern Minnesota is putting the Iron Range in a pinch.
So we know that our population is going down. We know that we have baby boomers that are exiting the workforce. And we know that we have businesses and industries up here that are in desperate need of talent.
That's where Hello Iron Range comes in. It's a website designed to promote the region and help businesses recruit workers by highlighting the area's beauty and charm.
We have the amenities we're looking for. We have childcare. We've got great schools. We've got essentially everything that you're looking for.
On the site, people can connect with employers looking to hire.
What we look at when we're bringing somebody in and they aren't really familiar with the area, having something like this in one spot where we can kind of showcase more information for them, you know, information about the schools, information about housing, you know, all in one spot.
A resource encouraging people from around the country to make the Iron Range their new home.
I mean, it's just an amazing place to live and work. And that's one of the things that we're really trying to promote with this website.
To visit the website and see all it has to offer, we have a link at CBS3Duluth.com. A historic building in downtown Duluth is back open again with a new look. The Temple Opera Building on Superior Street was built in 1889. The city sold the building a few years back, And Bell Bank, the nation's 10th largest privately held bank, signed an agreement to lease it. Bell Bank renovated the building's 3 floors to make it functional. They also restored pieces of history, like the balcony, its keyhole windows, a light fixture, and the brownstone outside of the building. President of Bell Bank's Duluth branch says the choice was obvious.
Picking out this building, the beautiful brownstone, it's a 130-year-old building. This is a way that we could demonstrate to the community that we are here to stay. And so we feel we're really preserving a piece of Duluth's history.
This was a multi-million-dollar project. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3 with the lottery jackpots rising. Many folks are rushing to get their hands on a ticket. We've got the details coming up.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
It's Super Saturday at Home Furniture. Get store-wide savings with up to an extra 10% off sale prices and 0 down, 0 interest financing on any purchase until 2022. Free no-contact shipping plus mountain bikes only $99 while they last. Saturday only at Home Furniture.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
I don't think any other year is ever going to be like 2020. I never thought that I would go through something like this ever in my life. This pandemic's not an isolated thing to our country or to our state or to our city. This is something that's affecting the world, and that just shows really how interconnected we all are. And I think that's why news is so important, because news is kind of like that lifeline to kind of bring that information out and bring us all together.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. Plus, subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers get paid training to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. Army National Guard soldiers are learning skills that can set them up for success with companies looking to hire the best.
The Army National Guard basically built my resume for me.
Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting nationalguard.com.
It's Super Saturday at Home Furniture. Get store-wide savings with up to an extra 10% off sale prices and 0 down, 0 interest financing on any purchase until 2022. Free no-contact shipping plus mountain bikes only $99 while they last. Saturday only at Home Furniture.
Northwest Outlet is your ARE truck topper headquarters.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
A lot of people are scrambling to get their lottery tickets as jackpots reach near historic highs. The Powerball's jackpot is now up to $640 million, and meanwhile, the Mega Millions is up to a whopping $750 million. That's $750 million. The corner store in Gary, New Duluth says they have seen plenty of people coming out and buying tickets in hopes of cashing in.
Typically, we wait on average, about 500 people per shift, and since the lottery's numbers have increased, it's probably pushing more towards about 700 per shift. We're definitely increased in sales here.
The Mega Millions numbers were picked at 10 o'clock tonight, so make sure you get out there, check your tickets, match them up with those numbers. Call me if you win. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook. Meanwhile, the Powerball jackpot will be picked tomorrow night. Good luck. Still ahead in sports, UMD welcomes in Ohio State for the first game in over a month. Kelly's got the highlights next.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready because sometimes the front lines are in our own backyard. We will always be there when our community needs us the most. Find out more about serving your community part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Come on down to Hannah Johnson Fabrics and Sewing Studio in Lakeside Marketplace. Don't know where to start? Visit our new sewing classroom and studio. Whether you're a brand new sewist or you've sewn for years, we have a class for you at Hannah Johnson Fabrics. We'll help you get your projects going with our huge selection of high-quality designer and specialty fabrics. Our friendly staff will help you find exactly what you need. Come see us in person or register for classes online at hannahjohnsonfabrics.com.
I started with a chest cold, and I was having a hard time breathing. I think they knew without a definitive diagnosis right away what was wrong with me. I remember the doctors coming to tell me they're going to take me to the ICU. I was beyond frightened.
I headed uptown, I gave my blood, and sort of walked away, not really thinking in the end who was getting it and what the end result would be.
I know she did not know when she went to donate convalescent plasma that she was going to save a life that day, but she did. She saved my life. If she did not make that donation, I don't know if I would be sitting here talking to you right now. Abby's a hero.
The hero comments are not something that, I really feel that comfortable with, but my plasma did save someone's life.
Contact your local blood center. It's simple, it's easy, and someone right now is waiting for you to save their life.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Some things are just too important to leave out of your day. Make sure we aren't one of them. Live, local, CBS3. Don't let the weather ruin your day.
Covered by a winter storm watch.
Dave Anderson, Caitlin Moffat, and Peter Kevitkauskas. The CBS3 weather team, tracking more than just severe storms. Dave. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
The month-and-a-half wait was finally over for the 6th-ranked UMD women's hockey team, who began the 2021 portion of their schedule this evening at Amsoil Arena. The Bulldogs welcomed in 3rd-ranked Ohio State for a 2-game set. We'll start about 12 minutes in. The Bulldogs finally break the scoreless tie as Anna Klein finds herself all alone on the breakaway, and she buries it in net. UMD with the early 1-0 lead. It would stay like that all the way to late in the 3rd, with Ohio State going empty net. UMD takes advantage of it as Taylor Anderson comes up with the loose puck and fires on the open net for her 2nd goal of the season. She scores to ice it, and UMD picks up the 2-0 shutout win.
Great quality win right there against a really good Ohio State team. I said to the team after the game, it wasn't necessarily easy by any means. We had some great looks, some great opportunities, and thankfully Kleiner nailed one big one early in the game. But it was tough. They're physical, and they keep coming at you.
And speaking of waiting, the UMD men's basketball team was back in action tonight after nearly a 2-week hiatus. UMD taking on UMary for the first time in this young season. Pick this one up. In the second half, Bulldogs up comfortably. Drew Blair with the kick out to Joshua Brown gives him all the 3. UMD takes a 19-point lead. Brown would finish with 16 on the night. Blair would continue to dish it out. This time he finds teammate Austin Andrews underneath, who lays it in for 2. Bulldogs lead 42-24 later. UMD continuing to spread the wealth. Brown sets up Charlie Katona, who skies up for the slam. UMD feeling good about 20. Then look at this. Drew Blair drives to the hoop, splitting through the hole. Mary defense. UMD improves to 2-0 with a 72-50 win.
Just was proud of our guys for responding to some adversity. We haven't practiced in a while, and quite honestly didn't have 2 great days of practice leading up. So just really challenged them to be who we are. Defensively, we've been pretty good now for 2 games. So our guys are really locked in. They're playing extremely hard. It was good to see it all come together, and it was just a really good team win for us tonight.
In the Division I ranks, the 9th-ranked Badgers on the road at Rutgers tonight. First half, Badgers up 2. Brad Davison hits an open Micah Potter, cutting to the hoop. Potter with the jam, and Wisconsin goes up 4. Now to the second. Wisconsin now down 1. Davison takes matters into his own hands, pulls up for the 3, and goes nothing but net. Wisconsin goes on to win this one handily tonight. And to the pros, a showdown of young stars as Giannis and the Bucks faced off against Luka Doncic and the Mavs. Late in the game, Chris Middleton playing closer for Milwaukee. He hits the contested 3-pointer to give the Bucks a 4-point lead. The Mavs would have one last chance, down 3. Doncic on the 3-quarter court heave, but it is off the mark. Bucks hold on for the 112-109 win. And if you've been paying attention to the NBA this season, you know that there seems to be no end in sight when it comes to COVID delays. And unfortunately for the Timberwolves, tonight was their night. We were supposed to show Timberwolves-Grizzlies highlights, but the game was postponed. That brings the league's total so far this season up to 13 postponements, with more almost certain to come. Following the announcement, Karl Anthony Towns announced via his social media that he has tested positive for the virus. He is now in isolation, and earlier this year, Kat's mom actually passed away from the virus. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
I don't think any other year is ever going to be like 2020. I never thought that I would go through something like this ever in my life. This pandemic's not a isolated thing to our country or to our state or to our city. This is something that's affecting the world, and that just shows really how interconnected we all are. And I think that's why news is so important, because news is kind of like that lifeline to kind of bring that information out and bring us all together.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers get paid training to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. Army National Guard soldiers are learning skills that can set them up for success with companies looking to hire the best.
The Army National Guard basically built my resume for me.
Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting nationalguard.com.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
you can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
all of us can end epilepsy. We just need to use our brains. Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
I can't even hug her. I'm touching people. I'm touching you. I'm touching you.
This show is about connection. And not even 2020 and socially distancing ourselves, they're going to get in the way of that.
Are we 6 feet apart?
Let's just check it out.
The major key is to make sure they watch the Kelly Clarkson show.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide, downtown Duluth.
SpaceX's Dragon capsule is now back on Earth. The company says it splashed down off of Cape Canaveral, Florida on Wednesday morning. The capsule had an unusual cargo load, 12 bottles of wine and 320 grapevines. European startup Space Cargo Unlimited had them launched into space as part of an experiment. They want to see how microgravity and higher radiation exposure impacts the vines and wines. Researchers believe this study could unlock the future of agriculture amid climate change on Earth. All right, Dave, let's get a last look at that forecast for the weekend. How's it looking?
We'll fire up the 7-day, and it should be cloudy tomorrow with a little bit of light snow still possible from lake effect for folks on the South Shore. Then partial sunshine on Sunday as a high-pressure system just grazes the region. Then for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, cloudy but not bitterly cold. It does get cool Tuesday morning, and then Wednesday, a slight chance for snow.
Have a great weekend.